Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of The Chair. This one, a special edition. We're going to do every week, we hope, and we're going to do one more segment after this. Uh, it's your weekly Raider review week. I'll write it better on the description. And shout out to everybody who watched or talked about it or anything. Appreciate y'all, as always. And this is my football team, and through thick and thin, and through everything. Uh, and week one was great. Week two was pretty much opposite if you don't count the first uh, 6 minutes of the game against Kansas City uh, last Sunday. It was tough to dissect how this game would go, except you figure, okay, Mahomes is going to have his game. He's going to be throwing for a bunch of yards, and eventually that's what happened. But in the first quarter at the Oakland Coliseum, for the last time Kansas City comes in, they the game ended up being on the infield dirt for the last time in Oakland and in the NFL. Uh, I don't see a preseason game happening at a place with the diamonds. So it just brought back childhood memories of playing at a park and running on the dirt and grass and uh, just having fun. And eventually, this time was going to come where they're going to move, and this would be the last game on dirt. Uh, I know it doesn't mean much, but it was the last standing place that had dirt that shared a ballpark or stadium, coliseum with the A's. And so, with that being said, Raiders started off well. It was 10-0, and then Chiefs took over. Pat Mahomes threw for 446 yards and four touchdowns. Kelsey, Williams, Watkins all had great games for Kansas City. Unfortunately, uh, for the Raiders, I think the positives were just the start of the game. Carr looked well. Jacobs, again, second game in the league, and he ran for 99 yards. Pretty good effort. Tight ends did their thing. Receivers uh, getting open. Tyrell Williams was doing his thing. He did get hurt, so he's questionable for the Week 3 game. We'll preview on Sunday morning. So we'll see if he plays. And fortunately, the Raiders lost 28-10. And it was one of those disheartening games where you knew it was over by the second quarter and then second half, where nothing was going for the Raiders. You kind of knew, okay, that was it. So I want to do is start a ritual, but hopefully it won't be a weekly ritual where I become drunk. But okay, so I have my shot glass here. I got the Raiders shot glass. I got some vodka in there. So every time the Raiders lose, we're gonna throw back a shot, and then we will move on to the next week. So here we go. One, two, three. Ooh. Mm. Cool gift somebody got me. So kind of washed the sins away with that. Sip my drink. Ooh. That some peppermint vodka. Anyway, uh, so now we're done with that. Let's go to week 3. It was it's going to be memorable for an occasion because this is the Raiders' first game at the new U.S. Bank Stadium in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and it's a nice facility. Birds keep flying into it just because of the glass walls. I don't know why, but that came to mind when I think about the stadium and how they made it. There's a YouTuber, there's a Facebook friend, there's someone I know, Carlos De La Torre, who's a big Viking fan. He's on SkullTube on YouTube. SkullTube 19 is his channel. I invite you to go on that, and we're gonna have our words about each other's team, and we're gonna have a lot of fun with it. And eventually, the game will come up, and I bet he'll be we'll be talking. uh, for the game at hand, this is the Raiders' first road game of many, as they don't go back to the Coliseum till November. So a 48-day stretch without a game at the Oakland Coliseum. After visiting Minnesota, they will go to Indy, then London for a home game against Chicago. And then after their bye week, they will go back on the road to play Green Bay and Houston. And it won't be until November 3rd against Detroit is when the Raiders will be home again. Oh my gosh. Okay. So the first game or the first season with Gruden, they went 1-7 on the road last year. If there's any improvement, they're hoping to improve on the road. You gotta protect home, but you gotta do better on the road. 1-7 won't get it done for sure. Uh, not even three. Not even 3-5 will get it done. Uh, so let's detail what's gonna happen with the Raiders. First story that comes to mind is getting a boost on the offensive line, which is always good. Uh, Left guard Richie Incognito was suspended the first two games. Personal conduct policy, but he's eager to play. He hasn't played in a year or so. Oh yeah, since July. No, June of. No, no. What is it? January 7th of 2008 playoff game with the Buffalo Bills. That was in Jacksonville, and he didn't play at all last year. So he'll be rusty for sure, but he's a Raider, and despite his past, we got to see what he has and how he can contribute and help the young offensive line, Colton Miller, Howard Mesh with Rodney Hudson. And we'll see how that goes. He's saying all the negative stuff is behind me, and we'll see if he can be any help for the Raiders offensively on the line to give Carr some time. Now, saying that is easy, but doing it is tougher because with Carr, gotta have time. He's got to make the right decisions, and he doesn't mind airing it out. But the Vikings have a tremendous defense. Got to give that to Carlos Skoltube, and that's been their stable for a while now. Uh, Linebacker core is great. Defensive line, great. So it's going to be tough up front, and we got to see how Incognito and the others handle them. Secondary, got Harrison Smith out there, Abdullah. It's going to be very tough. The running game, maybe the first 2 weeks was a cakewalk for Josh Jacobs, but the third week is reality against a really great defense, and we'll see how Josh Jacobs does if they can, add another tight end, put the fullback in, get some extra blocking going. Maybe that'll spring up something. And before I forget, that vodka hit it, boy. Should I eat something? No. Last year in week 3, I believe it was week 3. Uh, Buffalo went to Minnesota and defeated the Vikings. I hate to bring it up. I know it's not the same team. It's not you know, not not all the same. But I look at that game maybe as an example. Say, hey, if they could do it, Buffalo could do it. Hey, we could do it. Go to Minnesota early in the year and win a game. Still a road game, so maybe we could do that. it's a reunion of sorts for linebacker Vontez Perfect, as he's well known to Mike Zimmer. Uh, he knows the defense well, says Zimmer. Uh, so we'll see how that goes for Perfect, if he'll have a big game or not. Um, he hasn't had any issues yet, but uh, Zimmer knows him, and uh, he's hoping that he'll play clean. But uh, John Gruden says, "Hey, he's been good for us the first two games, and he has. He's been a leader. He's been a leader for the Raiders, and we'll see how he does against Minnesota and their offense." Uh, thing with the defense with the Raiders, it's a struggle passing, and I know Kirk Cousins, he struggles as well. Cousins uh, had a pedestrian game last week, as well as week one, so he'll be looking to produce something against the Raider pass defense. Now the rush defense as well, uh, they've done well so far, but Dalvin Cook is there from Minnesota, so that's going to be very tough. Cook has had a great two games so far, and most likely he'll have a good one uh, against the Raiders. But we'll see what happens. Uh, expect Cook to have a big game if you're on fantasy. Now the Raiders, they've have a bad habit. They've started fast but finished games slow. And you saw that exclusively week two against Kansas City. Week one, you could say the same thing, but gradually somehow they got the job done. And the record is 1-1 at the moment. Uh, like I said, with Dalvin Cook, he leads the league in rushing as of right now. And we'll see what happens, but it's going to be a tough ball game, and we'll see if the Raiders can stop them rushing, and then Minnesota will have to pass. But we'll see if that's the case, because if they have to pass, they have Thielen, they have Diggs, and sometimes if they get Rudolph involved, the game is over pretty much. And we don't need that. We don't need that. We need things to go our way. You know, right away. We need things to happen that will get us going, and we'll see what happens. But it'll be a challenge. It'll be something. I hope we escape by a field goal, or if we somehow win by more. But I know the line will probably be by 6. Uh, to me, 6 or 10. Swing it any way you want, but I know that it'll be it'll be a tough game, and the Rays pull it out hopefully, so I don't have to do another shot. Hopefully, I won't have to do more and more shots, but we'll see what happens. Um, so so yeah, here's the shot. I hope I don't have to do have to do it again. Um, so you see my hat as I look back, and I see the I'm a Trojan football fan, uh, uh, basketball fan. Uh, wanted to catch a baseball game, but I want to preview the USC game. They're 1-2. They should have won at BYU. They gave up the game. Very disheartening. 2-0. They ranked 24th, and now uh, right back out of the top 25. It's very disheartening. Let's just say very disheartening. Uh, and now Friday night, 6 o'clock, they'll be hosting number 10 Utah Utes. They're ranked number 10, I should say. They have a tremendous offense. Does Utah? USC does as well, but their defense gives up so many points. Of course, without Barrett, the quarterback, Slovis has to come in and again put up big numbers, but make better reads over the middle. Cannot have a um, duplicate of what happened at the end of the game against BYU. Cannot give up the interceptions. No fumbling, no turnovers. Nothing like that. We can't have that happen with the Trojans. So that'll be Friday night instead of Saturday. So that leaves um, Saturday wide open. So I'll be looking into more things about the Raider game and the whole league as I did my preview for Week 3 coming up. Uh, and went through all the games and what could happen and what I predict, and that was pretty fun. So that's been the chair special edition, previewing the Raiders Week 3 and the USC Trojans college football Week 4. And good luck to all except the teams the Raiders and the Trojans are playing. That'll be the Vikings and the Utes. And we will see you next time on the chair with hopefully, possibly, food review as early as Friday night. We'll see what happens. Maybe after the Trojan game, I don't know. We'll see how Friday goes. It's been James from now on YouTube and everywhere else. All these other platforms I'll put the videos on. I will catch all of you soon. Bye.